For this video, I wanted a challenge. A completely FDM printed Doom the Dark Ages statue in 5 hours or less. Could I pull this off? It's time to find out, because my timer starts now. Before I get going, let me go over the rules for this challenge. My timer continues only when I am actively working on the statue. This will exclude print and drying times. I kept track of this through my recording lengths as well as a timer. With all that covered, let's get to work. This model is a Galactic Armory file I received through the Patreon. That link will be in the description below. I began by piecing together the base, which I printed in 4 pieces. I did this by applying E6000 to the inner areas and Gorilla Glue to the rims. To make sure everything stayed in place, I followed this up with my wood burner and did a few spot welds on the top and bottom. This process took just about 20 minutes from my timer already. Anytime you hear this sound, my current time remaining will be shown on screen. I started sanding a few of the pieces and I came to the conclusion that this just wasn't going to work. My sandpaper was removing the details more than it was removing my layer lines, so I moved on to plan B, the Bondo acetone mixture. This is just Bondo glazing and spot putty thinned out with acetone and applied in layers to the print. I applied about 3 or 4 layers to every piece and ended up with about 3.5 hours left. To save some time, I skipped sanding the Bondo and moved straight to Rust-Oleum 2-in-1 filler primer. With about 3 hours and 20 minutes left, we could take a quick progress check. At this point, I could go ahead and sand everything gently with a 400 grit sandpaper. After sanding, I used a printmaking scribe to carve some of the detail back into the pieces. With that done, I had about 2.5 hours left for painting. Step 1 was to give everything a matte black base coat. To make sure I didn't waste any time with the airbrush, I planned out what colors I needed for every piece and painted them all at once. I only needed 3 different colors: green, gray, and brown. The skin tones for the biceps were just different variations of the brown that I'll use on the boots soon. The base coats were done, and everything was looking, well, much better than I thought they would. The colors came out really nice, and honestly, most of them didn't need too much more work. Every reference picture I looked at, the Doomslayer's armor had this nice silver on it, so I decided to use this silver metallic paint, and I plan to use the airbrush later to dull it down. Next up was the base. It started with a black base coat, airbrush gray to look like rock, then I painted the bones with a tan. I loved how it turned out and I went through it so quick, but the rock just looked so plain, so I started dry brushing some browns and tans to get a muddy dirt look. Then I decided to push my luck even further and attempt something that could have ruined this challenge for me. I tried to do some lava effects in the cracks of the rock. If I messed this up, it would require a whole repaint of the whole base, so a lot was riding on this. The very last thing I painted was the mark of the Slayer on the shield. I got everything glued together with about 11 minutes to spare. Just a little bit too close for comfort, but now let's see some glamour shots. With a total work time of 4 hours, 48 minutes, and 52 seconds, I can say this challenge was a success. This video was completely different from any of the content on my channel, so if you enjoyed it or have any suggestions for future content, leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to see more, consider subscribing.